Welcome to Le Marais. This area covers the 3rd and 4th arrondissements of Paris, and it's so called because during the Middle Ages it was a swampy marshland. All of that changed around the 12th century when religious orders started moving to the area and building their churches and other ecclesiastical buildings here. A few centuries later, wealthy families decided to move out of what was then Paris, which largely comprised of Ile de la Cité, the Latin Quarter, things like that, and they wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle, the dirtiness, the crowdedness of Paris, and so they moved here and built huge mansion houses. Now, many of those mansion houses survive to this day and date back to the 17th century. Today, the area is famed for its chic boutiques. It's home to a large LGBT community, to a Jewish community, and it's also pretty residential. So let's go and explore all that this area has to offer. This is Hôtel de Ville, and it's been the main administrative centre of Paris since 1357. Although the building you see behind me looks really old, it was actually reconstructed after a massive fire at the end of the 19th century. Unfortunately, you can't really go inside apart from for special visits, but it is a great place to start this tour of Le Marais. Although the Parvis looks quite empty right now, it's actually a central meeting point as it's really close to the Seine, Notre Dame, and one of the busiest metro stations in Paris, Châtelet. In the winter months, this is where an annual Christmas market is held. This is Tour Saint-Jacques, and it's all that remains of a medieval church. The actual clock tower was built between 1509 and 1523, and the church was once dedicated to butchers. Unfortunately, this is all that remains, although it is very beautiful, and in the summer months you can pay to go up where you'll get an amazing view of Paris. It's also along Rue de Rivoli, which is one of the main thoroughfares through Paris and is a greatly visited shopping street. Église Saint-Gervais is tucked behind Hôtel de Ville and dates all the way back to the 15th century. Today, you can wander inside for free to admire predominantly Baroque architecture. Rue des Bar is a delightful cobbled lane nestled behind the Saint-Gervais church. It's known for its colourful sidewalk cafes, and if you're a fan of Gossip Girl, then the cafes at the end might be familiar to you as they featured in the Paris episodes of the show. As I mentioned, it's quite a popular filming location, and there was even something taking place while we were just there. Anyway, that leads me on to the next place that we're going to visit, and this is one of my favourite bookshops in Paris. If you are a fan of all things Paris, then this bookshop is dedicated to just books about Paris. One of the best aspects of visiting Le Marais is that it largely was spared during the Haussmannian overhaul of the 19th century, and so lots of medieval architecture remains. For example, this building was constructed in the 16th century and was originally built to serve as the house for the archbishops of Sens. Today, it houses the Bibliothèque Fournie, which is a decorative arts library. The space behind the library is an amazing space to hang out. You can have your lunch here, it's free to visit, but one of the most hidden gems of Le Marais is actually at the front of the building, so let's go and check it out now. If you look up to the corner of the building, which is very unassuming where all the pigeons are, then you'll see that there's a cannonball that's been left there from the French Revolution. Le Marais is on the right bank, which is to the north of the Seine. We're now going to head away from the Seine towards Rue de Rivoli, and we're going to cross the road and see one of the most famous sights that can be seen here. Welcome to Place des Vosges. The architecture here dates back between 1605 and 1612, making it the oldest public plan square in Paris. Today, it's an amazing place to hang out with your friends. You can sit on the benches, or alternatively, which is quite rare in Paris, you can sit on the grass and have a picnic. There's a few small museums nearby, and also another hidden gem, which I'll show you next.
One of my favourite places to discover in Place des Vosges is Maison de Victor Hugo, which is where the Hunchback of Notre Dame writer lived prior to his exile. Today, the former writer's house has been transformed into a free museum.
Place des Vosges is a true square, and its four sides are lined with these long arcades which are covered. They're full of shops, cafes, boutiques, all upmarket, but it's a perfect place to explore on a rainy day as a result of the covered arches. Hôtel de Ville was built in the 1620s and is a typical example of a maison particulière where a wealthy family would have lived. Today, it's owned by the French state and is home to a cultural institution. The gardens here are completely free to visit and are a really quiet space to hang out and enjoy the scenery. If you're looking for a quiet place where all the locals hang out, then I highly recommend coming to Place du Marché St. Catherine, where you can find quick bites to eat, tapas, drinks. We had a spritz here the other day and it was honestly really lovely, especially when it's sunny.
Step inside this free museum and you can learn all about the history of Paris. Nestled within the heart of Le Marais, in a former mansion house turned cultural institution, this delightful museum is set over several floors and tells the story of Paris from Roman times right up until the present day. There's even a small courtyard where you can enjoy a drink in the shadow of this stunning building.
If there's one spot you have to come to in Le Marais for a quick and easy takeaway lunch, it's Lastu Falafel. Their specialty is falafel in pita. It's really tasty, quick. It costs around €10. I think it used to cost like $4 when I started coming here, but it's still worth it. We're now headed north into the Upper Marais, which is known as the Haute Marais. This area is famed for its coffee shops, bars, boutiques. There are lots of museums here, gardens, but there are definitely fewer tourists and it's more where the locals hang out.
If you're looking for somewhere for breakfast, then one of my favourite cafes in this area is Café de la Poste, where you can enjoy classic French favourites while people watching from the large terrace.
And if there's one road you should check out while you're in this area, is Rue de Bretagne. There's often markets here. There's also amazing bistros and bars. This street is also home to the Marché des Enfants Rouges, which is the oldest covered market here in Paris and is so called because of a former children's hospital site. The market's actually only open from Tuesday through to Sunday, so if you arrive on a Monday like we have, it's closed. Every arrondissement has its own town hall, but the Hôtel de Ville is actually the overarching one which oversees all of them. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Paris travel content. See you next time!